All right. Happy new moon in Libra, solar eclipse. Energy portal is wide open right now. I want to thank everybody for their patience. Today, we are going straight into Leo's message. Apologies for, I mean, maybe you didn't even see this because there may not have been that many people following, but it did. Your video did not come out yesterday like the rest of the videos did. Neither did Scorpio's. But I believed it was because I was meant to go through energy and experiences that were going to attune me correctly to be able to channel the best message for you, Leo. So I am really grateful for your patience. But yeah, a lot of big things coming in today. Just a super battery packed energy, honestly. And, you know, some of the first things that I was thinking about when it came to Leo energy was realizing that you are no longer looking for anyone else to tell you how fast you can go and pursue your own energy. Like, perhaps many of our Leos were used to some sort of external procedure, having to adhere to, I'm hearing industry standard or, you know, truly understanding what that sort of entrepreneurial, singular, main stage, Leo, roaring energy really is, and embracing to the fullest as a Leo the fact that that is the experience that you get to live out. And so I feel like this transition with the eclipse, like what has been removed from Leo's path, has opened up the room for you to go at a faster speed. Like, I think there's just this like giving yourself the permission to again renew as you want it, because I think Leo's reaching this place where they are the source of their experience, they are the source of their life. And truthfully, when you realize there's no parental wounding that tells you when you got to go to bed, when you got to wake up, like when you're not relying on something else to structure your time, you realize like maybe things are beneficial if I tweak some of the variables a little bit. Like maybe if things go a little quicker, if I'm free to make or create my life the way that I want to, rather than always waiting for, you know, what the industry says. Because I feel like what I'm getting is that Leo went the traditional route and found success. But I'm feeling like Leo, the success that Leo found in maybe following a sort of the structure or what was expected of them was that, you know, in the end, they're just left with the accomplishments they create. And honestly, being, you know, the Leo that you are, you know, your individuality and your personal shine is important to you. And so I feel like, you know, yeah, I can get the feeling that I want out of going, you know, the path that requires me adhering and taming myself. But I also think that most of that success came from just raw off the top. Like, I think Leo's realizing, like, you know, the sort of king of the jungle, right? Like, top of the food chain type of awareness of self. It shows you, like, oh, wait, I'm adept with, like, these abilities, these gifts, these strengths of my own that show the divine, that show like a God level, top of the food chain type of energy. And so if I have those things, that is connected and sourcing a lot of my success, you know, exactly what I'm saying. You know, if I have these very King of Wands, like I can create this, this is just raw magic I can make happen, and people respond to it in a way that has already proven that it can run a business, it can give me back money, it can do all of those things, then who holds the Ace of Cups? And do you want to, is that you? Is that person you in your life, Leo? Like, are you the person that says when it's time to fucking do something? Because I think, again, like Leo has been through enough things where like you were like, hey, I think I'm going to make a decision. And a lot of people disagreed with it. A lot of people may have thought that wasn't it. And then in the end, Leo finds exactly what Leo was seeking, which is like, yeah, it's me. Like, even if the idea was a flop or it was what it was, like, people like me, my energy is what is attracting the abundance around the situation. So you're realizing, I think Leo's coming into an ability to like really trust themselves a lot more, because it's like you do know when you create magic in this way, in this raw form, you know, there is a response and there is proof of that response. And therefore, it's the reason that you get to just take your own cup at this time, Leo. So it's a beautiful energy for Leos, because like I said, this isn't my first attempt at this video either, but one of the best things I was thinking about is like, man, I remember in childhood, I used to have some of the best connections with Leos. Some of my best friends that were Leos were so deeply integrated with their shadow. And some would even have a reputation, like their 10th house would be kind of governed by like their shadow energy. And so, nothing better than a Leo that does not mind having an opinion, having a critique, holding a standard, not being perfect. Like the Leo that knows they're still on stage and shows light and dark. Oh, love it. And I feel like this, if that stopped for any era for you, it's coming back because of this eclipse change. It's coming back because of this sort of gifted time that Leo has, you know what I mean? Exactly. Leo is coming back into that full spectrum version of themselves. So it's like, you know, people used to just like me. Like I used to be the thing. It used to just be like who I was. Like there was a time when Leo remembers a lot of people flocked to them and they were just being themselves, straight up. And so, you know, when you went down this cycle where all this emotional baggage started coming up, it was like, hold up. And Leo's following people, everyone around them is saying to do and trying to follow. And they, in the end, it's like, wait a minute. I'm walking away from all of this as Leo because there used to be a time where I was it. And again, I think it was the high degrees of Pisces and the end of this age of Pisces, like the lessons being super turned up for Leo really surrounded, you know, this feeling of needing to put the success outside of yourself. So I think for a lot of Leos, there was a lot of relating to feeling like you needed to like share, you know, like I think that's Leo's trauma is like, hey, you know, you don't have to be the only one to talk, or you don't have to, this doesn't all just have to be for you, like sharing, you know, the limelight. I think that's the thing, right, with Leos. And so I think high degrees of Pisces, you know, the byproduct of that was like feeling like you needed to really share that which you can never really give to another. You like they used to try to play you by making you feel shame and guilt, which are not real things for you to be feeling or anyone to be feeling. But they used to make you feel shame and guilt because maybe you held the mic and nobody came to take it, nobody challenged it, so it just stayed with you, right? Like Leo used to have this stature where it was like no disputing Leo is Leo. Leo is seated exactly as it was. And I just feel like through this cycle of like that you are leaving with this eclipse, you're coming back into the awareness and the reconnection of like, wait a minute, it used to just be me off top raw. Like it used to just be my energy that got me everything I had in life. Like I don't have to used to be around a certain type of person. ASMR. You're welcome, Leo. But that's the replenishment right now. That's how it feels, like a good cup, like coffee ice. But that's what it feels like, Leo. It's like I used to not have any of this. I didn't need. I'm hearing like I didn't need a project manager. It used to be a one-man show. Like and we're talking in terms of like your abundance and your energy. Like it used to be like just me raw. And I feel like you went through this whole like doing it how everybody else wants you to do it because everybody else isn't Leo. So you were going through and doing it and including all these people, and it just watered down. I feel like that's what Leo feels like you kind of just watered down what I was trying to just do raw off the top. And maybe I shouldn't have tried to be so industry, and I should have just realized like I am the industry. The industry was propped up around me, around my source energy, around my connectedness, around my authenticity, around my natural charisma. So this involves like a lot of Leos, like I know at this cycle, have been feeling like the least like themselves, you know, physically. That spiritual physical connection for Leo is so sacred and strong. Again, I think part of what makes a lion the king of the jungle is also the way that its spiritedness like is tethered into the flesh. Like, you know, when you're in the presence of Leo, because like that shit is like, it's like the skin, like the suit of a lion is like very intense. And I feel like Leo needs to remember that is the real genuine nature of who you are, Queen of Swords, right? The real truth. And this is the truth that you need to be vocalizing. You need to be standing in. You need to be aware of like, wait, I used to be it. I used to be the thing. I used to have the thing back before people even knew how to get the thing. And it used to just come from me. So before I went into all this editing and revising the God particle, I need to recognize that like fifth house, divine, like the divine God particle is me. And so again, I just get at this eclipse, you walked away from so many just empty clips, like, you know what I mean? Like you walked, I'm just kidding, but you walked away from so much empty emotional scenarios, empty ways of investing. I feel like I said, I think Leo really feels like there was a part of you that has an original idea, and I feel like there was a correctness about it. Like I think Leo during this ascension has been like looking around spiritually and has been like, I don't want to do the wrong thing, you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to go the right way with this all right, I'm trying to ascend too, you know. It's like the way that, like, for example, if we were in an apocalyptic scenario and you happen to be grouped in a place where like there's also someone who's a celebrity, well, in an apocalyptic scenario, like celebrity probably wouldn't really matter. I mean, unless it could get you like delay some sort of like, you have a plane so you don't have to be on the ground or whatever, right? But in an average scenario, like that status wouldn't really matter. So I feel like it's like some celebrity like walking amongst the people like, hey, yeah, no, me too, I'm trying to get through and just trying to evacuate or whatever. And I feel like there's this like, I don't want my status to make anybody think that I deserve to live any more than anybody else in this situation. So I feel like there was just like this courtesy, this like, I don't want to, you know, and in a lot of ways you're realizing like, I mean, you can't not be a Leo, right? Like you can't not do that thing, you know, that thing that you do when you walk in a room, which is just like, all eyes on me. Everybody assumes that you've got the ball in your hands and you are running up the 50-yard line. You know, they assume that you are trying to make it to the end zone of life. And this old form of diminishing and splitting yourself up amongst things because you think you need to be courteous, you think you need to be curt, you think you need to fall in line, when it's like, babe, you used to run businesses. You used to be the person that just off top could attract this kind of naturally creative energy. And I feel like coming back into that, look at that, coming back into that bottom of the deck, the bitch. And Leo, have I ever lied to you? This energy, this wheel of fortune, what? Karma, you know, it is karmically just for you to come into this happiness. The reason you were ascending, excuse my chewing, but I'm trying to give myself joy during this reading. Why don't you take a sip of your bev, Leo, because you deserve it. You deserve it. Okay. Babe, why do you think you were ascending? Why do you think you have to purge and find this whole renewal of self? Why do you think you had to come all the way back to self at this time, Leo? Because it was right in time for the fucking Wheel of Fortune. It was always going to be that in your fate, in your destiny, you were going to come on this fucking abundant time. You're meant to. I also feel like Leo has 10 of Cups. Leo is meant for 10 of Cups. Leo, yes, I'm going to be your psychic affirmation. Yes, as fucking fine and amazing and put together and successful as you are, you're right. You should have no problem finding something to mirror that. Because in your head, you're like, it's hard enough to be that girl. It's hard enough to be that dude. It's hard enough to be them. It's hard enough to be Themothy. You know what I mean? It's hard enough to really be what I already am. So I feel like I should have the most options, actually. And you're correct, Leo. You're more than correct. You've been to that. So let's take a good look around. Is that the life you're living right now? The one that's like, I'm amazing. So it should be definite that like I'm at this level of commitment. Yeah, I don't know who's looking at me surprised that I also have everything emotionally as well. Because this isn't just I'm the most successful, like I'm the moment. The Wheel of Fortune crossing the Queen of Swords means like it was always destined that you were going to be the mother freaking moment. Like you were going to be the moment. You are the moment, Leo. You were the moment then, like, you know this, Leo. You were born this way. You are born a Leo. You are born the moment. For your community, for your world, for your reality, your universe. Yeah, you were born the goddamn moment. Yeah. Yeah, this is the same wheel. It's always been there, babe. It's always been there, babes. You've always been her. Yes. So I think a lot of people are surprised that you also are meant to feel fucking good too. Like, you're not just a fucking party and a half in a glass. You're also meant to have the partnership that stand out. It's supposed to work out for you, is how it's looking, Leo. Leo, we need it to be working out for Leo. Like, as a collective, we all know we need it to work out for you in your story, in your world. Like, everyone needs you to succeed. You feel that way, babe. You're our vitality, you know, you're the blood pumping. You're the heart chakra of the zodiac. Yeah. You're the heart chakra that can create all of it. We need the heart health. You know what I'm saying? We need the Leos to be good. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? That's why the Wheel of Fortune is on your life. That's why it's there. The fuck? Like, I'm just kidding. I just dropped this shit. Girl. I was about to say I just dropped this shit to the floor because I had to like really go to the floor under this desk to get this card. And I heard like they're taking it low. Seven of Swords reversed. Oh, Leo, I've been telling you this. The click you claim, let's mute it. I need every Leo everywhere to leave the community you are in, because you built this community once upon a time knowing that it was not authentic, and the way that the end of the age of Pisces like hurt your self-esteem and your vitality made you not only just kind of stay amongst these motherfuckers, these people that it's like, I'm getting like, it's too many years, too much time, too much data, too much over identifying, and it's not true. Like, I'm getting for a lot of Leos, like, the people you were kicking it with were coloring you a certain way, and you're not on that. And the company we keep, I'm telling you specifically, that's why this relational eclipse for Leos is going to be something for the books. Something for the books, because it means that we are no longer relating in the same way. Because like I said, Leo is going back to, because I feel like Leo, with all that lion energy was going to pumping up these people, this image of yourself, this narrative, this way of you fitting into this role. It's not authentic. It's not real, because you're Leo. You have to recognize, we see you. You aren't being you. You don't look like you anymore. You don't look like the you that we like, that runs the things that we know you run in terms of energy and contribution. So to have, and I think you've gotten warning of this, right? Because this is also spiritual, guy. Like you were warned that like you got to be more authentic. And again, Leo, this is going back to, we can't, we're ascending past a lot of materialism as a collective, as we get less and less tethered and weighted in terms of energy, and as we lighten our density on this planet, we are no longer going to be as materialistic about things. And that is one of the shadow sides of Leo, which is depth, right? Like, we want to make sure that we're not shallow, right? And so I'm getting, these are like the most shallow puddle relationships, right? But would you, when you're having this moment, when you're just living that life, when you're having that moment, and this is the company that you have around to celebrate it, it's gonna make you move. Don't this shit make my people want to jump? Like, this shit is gonna make you want to immediately make it initiate whatever changes you have not initiated that you needed to initiate. You know what I'm saying? I think you do. Right. Because the Knight of Swords, the truth is always the truth. In the recent past, I feel like that's what you were needing to understand, right? And perhaps I think this has to do with like, perhaps Leo getting like the wounding around. This is what I mean. Like, I think there's always so much more to Leo than like most people need. Like, Most people with Leo are like, that's enough, thank you, we got it. No, it's like the actor who goes to the casting call and it's like, they say like 2 lines, they're like, okay, thank you, that's a wrap. And Leo's like that constantly gauging whether you're too much in the room, like you're really just trying to deeply connect and spread that passionate love. But again, like, because the energy is so strong, people really just need, let's just mute it and keep it cute. You know what I'm saying? So I think while you were developing in this, I think you were learning to keep your heart and letting your heart guide you while you come into this new truth. Like, I think it was important for Leo, because at the end of the day, what I'm hearing Spirit say, no matter how it looked, it was always going to just be about you owning the journey. And even if you're not proud, even if, you know, you felt like a fallen soldier at different times, Leo, like, maybe they got a kid on you, maybe they got whatever on you, like, it doesn't matter what kind of you know, weightless weight we now walk with because of the journey we went through. I think, you know, the best thing for you to do moving forward is to acknowledge that, like, you were maturing, you know, you were coming to terms and meeting yourself. You were trying to move, you know, in tandem with both your truth and your heart space. And I think sometimes, as courageous as Leo is, you know, I think we always only can measure courage in times where they're tested, you know? So a lot of times Leos are tested on like how brave you can be, how you can stand out on this, you know? But I believe, like I said, the Leo collective has always been doing it. Like, you've always been trying for authenticity, for your real self. You know what I mean? And I think that the thing about Leo in the recent past is you gave it your all. You, regardless of what was attracted to you and what company you were keeping and whether that was authentic or not, you were giving your all, your full self. So, you know, you got used to living with the mask off. So like I said, I'm seeing like deep karmic contracts, you know, past due stuff like that just really, you know, I think has been captivating Leo. And I feel like this eclipse in terms of relationships has really given Leo the strength to be like, I already have practiced being my real self. So I'm prepared, because even if these inevitable changes do have to get moved forward at this time, I do know though at the very end that like I am prepared for the next form, which is beautiful. 2222. I'm just assuming that my Leo collective is with me in this message. Yeah, I mean, you've always been like this. Like, you've always been like this. Like, you've always been showing evidence of this. You know what I mean? You've always... And so harvesting at this time, I feel like our Leo collective is the one harvesting right now. Like, is the one that's like, yo, like at the highest vibration, like has this shit to harvest, you know, and is coming into union with themselves, you know. And I think Leo is just trying to connect the dots of what, and like, do you want to keep that leg of inauthenticity connected to this big moment? Because the moment you feel about yourself, you know, the way that you feel about your body and yourself and your energy, it is as big as you feel. You know, you are as big of a deal as you feel like you are, Leo. So even more reason and more confirmation for me to sit here and say that, like, the 7 of Swords in reverse, which is just shit that, like, wasn't letting you be Leo when you first started it, and it's still not letting you be that. It was never going to be possible for you to be able to be more than that. Like I said, the outcome for Leos is that they're going to start integrating your shadow. You're going to have these Leos that have everything, like that finally get the full dream. And because you finally get it, and you, again, going back to that original message, you didn't edit yourself. You just stayed true. Like, even if you were in some karmic ass shit, you're still you. I mean, you might have been attracting stuff that is out of alignment to you because of wounding, but you were still showing up as your authentic self. And so now that you've gained the world by taking it by like now knowing that like you're going to get the same result either way. So you might as well just honor your individuality, which is like integral to your being. Like, never forfeit who you really are to gain anything. I don't give a fuck who you think you're going to need to be around. You don't have to fit in. And I think, again, like, as new generations come, Leo has a special type of thing that the rest of the zodiac doesn't have to go through. Like, you girlies have to, like, trend predict. You have to know where the fuck the current is going, and you're a fire sign. Like, how the fuck are you supposed to know how the ocean is and the tides are going to wane, and why? Like, how are you supposed to know any of that information when that's not even your element to make up? But you have to have a pulse on things that other people don't realize, because if Leo is ever not showing up as Leo, as like on time, well-timed, Amherst vitality, like life propagating ass fucking individual, we're going to have a problem. So you know what kind of unique battle you have that the rest of us don't even understand, Leo. We don't understand what it's like to have to actually care about what's going on and where we're all at, because you're the integral part. Like, you can't ever get out of touch. So, I think getting to go through life now with a lot more authority, a lot more authority, but also not giving a fuck who doesn't like you. That's also how I feel, really and truly not giving a single flipping fuck about who does not fuck with the vibe. Because right now for you, for eternity, it's not about who's fucking with the vibe. It's how you're managing the wheel of fortune for the Leo collective. It's how you're managing being the moment. We're going into the age of the Aquarian. You're right across the ecliptic. Yeah. There's a spotlight on you. It's powered by what Leo's doing. You're powering the wheel of fortune moving forward. Leo, have you ever thought that even whether you're like, what's more powerful? Being the head dancer in the ballet Nutcracker or whatever, and, coming out and taking the bow, right? In terms of like importance of waking your, but in terms of the operation, what if you're meant to be funding the ballet company, like the whole thing? Like, I think Leo is realizing, like, you got to know the stage and have a love for main stage because you're meant to fuel the wheel of fortune. You're meant to decide what we're putting our resources towards, to shift culture, to shape our future. That's the Leo collective right now. You're seeing that in your jobs, in your relationships. Like, you're now being positioned as the person who dictates where the funds go. No, it's not the same as being the newscaster. It's owning the network. Yeah, it's different. It's different. And so as we shift out of materialism and get more into a lightened format, because realistically, did you want to have your coming into union moment have a lot of this awareness of like spillage of a mess, like again, this is that company that like wasn't worth it. Like, when it's my time to celebrate, do you want these people at your party? No, because they're going to make a mess. I think that, if Leo is also getting caught in, I feel like Leo is also having to transmute at this time. A lot of Leos are coming forward as getting caught in like negative associations, like, ooh, like you were fucking with that person. Oh no, they are fucking canceled beyond belief. And you're like their best friend, like I see a lot of Leos as being told by the divine that this was deceptive. This is not going to lead well. And I think Leo's learning the lesson in that in terms of 11th house, in terms of the associates you keep, you can't, when you have this much responsibility, you can't be reckless and careless about who's the company you're keeping, because it looks like there was, for the Leo collective, there's this big ceremony, right, about union, about life, where the host is having to be like, oh my God, it's almost like an Airbnb host being like, they threw a function here, or like, it's like, oh shit, like you're responsible, like net responsible for how including this in the picture did leave an aspect of a mess on something that was supposed to be sacred for you, Leo. This was supposed to be a time that was a big deal for you. It was supposed to be a time that really mattered to you, but some of this stuff, and again, I think it's like a variable in your picture, Leo, that does not actually belong, and so therefore that's why it's like causing so much distraction. It's like a misalignment that you try to include in your whole picture. And I think you're growing out of and growing into this individual who is going to be deciding what is what out in the world. And so this is a big lesson to you in terms of how to deal with that, how to navigate the company we keep and how they reflect aspects of ourselves, right? Justice. Yeah, I feel like Leos are learned. Ooh, justice and judgment. I was about to say there's a big decision on Leo's entire shit, bro. Like, there is some judgment on who you were affiliating with, because I think it's like, when breaking news comes out about somebody that you like didn't know. It's like that. It's like the energy of what's outside of Leo right now is like something or someone you're connected to is getting judgment and justice. Like, karma and just like, yeah, let's just say like a double fat sack of karma. And to have been connected, to have had them in such close quarters, you know. Hierophant in reverse. This is not, this is like sacrilegious. Like the thing that you were creating was sacrilegious. It was going against who you are at a spiritual level. There was something, I'm also getting like words like unnatural. This is not natural to you. This is like, again, Leo, some of you may have been really pushed and influenced to act a certain way that has gotten you associated in something that you're now getting the karma for being associated with. But again, it started with you trying to like, make sure I just want to be like politically correct. I don't want to ruffle any feathers. And by trying to like fit in when you're a giant lion, you ended up like getting the karma of whatever the little geese you were rolling with. And now it's like, yeah, it was sacrilegious. Like in terms of your holy space, like it feels like something you need, like we need to purify. We need to like, after this experience. But this is why Leo is coming into such a big understanding of their shadow now, right? Because I think your shadow is telling you this whole time. And because Leo, you could be a Leo that has a different, I mean, you could vary in terms of how much you integrate your shadow. And this is a huge message for Leo. Longest one I've done. I'm really glad that I like got this out. But I feel like, again, you want to move forward. The outcome for Leo, I'll just say, is 2 of Swords, 6 of Rods, right? We want you to be able to know that your success is connected to an embodiment of your truth. Leo is leaving the situation knowing now that the only type of success that actually really matters for me as a person is something that is connected to me really embodying it. I don't want to be promoting something I don't really believe in, because that shit's going to blow up in my face every fucking time, because now I am tethered and attached to something that I was just capping that is not even really representing me, but now I'm affiliated with it, you know? And again, it's not better to just try to do what the industry standard is saying, because for you, Leo, you write the industry, they base that algorithm off you. So you need to know as a Leo that that's what you are. And that's why I had to give this message to you, because it's like, if you don't know you're like the blueprint, and that things have been watching your behavior in order to like learn how to make these systems that you feel like you got to be bought and sold back into, you know, you're learning that, you know, and you're also learning something about spiritual purity, that Leos have this very pure spirit. And we want to make sure that you stay in that purity that you were given as incarnating as a Leo, as a member of the Leo collective. So just remember that all of that is connected. But I do see victory coming forward to you, 6 of Rods, personal victory, a personal new understanding of success that has to do with like actually the things that actually make me successful. Because this is like, all that could have been going on, but this is like, in the end, the success you do find personally is about the stuff that you were always embodying, right? Like the version, that part of you that never slips, even if you were confused, lost, and sloshed up with the wrong people, the part of you that never slips. And so I feel like in the end, it ain't no stress. It's not a stressor for you, because you're going to realize that other stuff is not like, if those things used to make you feel successful, that association, that darkness, that inauthenticity, now you know the real reason you're a success isn't because of all of that stuff. It's because of the genuine hard personal success and work that you've planned for yourself by just being who you are, by embodying the truth of who you are. So carry on in the truest fashion of you. I think for Leos, I mean, moving forward, everything will change. You don't feel like you need somebody, Leo, to permit you to go. And now you're just going, kind of like me with the series. Like now it's like, okay, but you're the battery. So I feel like a lot of Leos are going to find a very sustainable way to live out forever. And I'm excited for this arc for you. This is my favorite type of Leo energy, like really, really down with the shadow, as Leo energy is the funnest. So I'm looking forward to this revitalization for the collective. I hope this message resonated, and happy eclipse to all of you.